Hey guys, it's Obi here. Today we are going to be working with this trainer. So this is from the University of Colorado. This is actually a circuit construction kit and a trainer for DC electronics. It's actually pretty neat. There's a lot we can do with it. And it's probably the best way we can begin to familiarize ourselves with how a circuit is constructed and begin to understand different principles. So the first thing I want you guys to do is to, in the top right of the corner where it says show current, I want you guys to switch this to conventional. Okay, and then I want you to turn on values. So just in case, down here at the bottom where we see intro and lab, we see the intro is highlighted and lab is grayed out. If you select lab, it looks the exact same as intro, but with a couple extra little things to click. We're just going to stay with intro. So if you see these extra things on the right side, let's just flip it back to intro and those will be hidden. We don't need all that for now, so it'll keep everything more simple. Okay? So when we're doing or messing with this trainer, what we will do, if you want to insert a battery, you just click battery off of the menu here on the left side. So we'll click battery and we can bring that in. And since we turned the values on, and we'll turn them off again so you can see it, we'll see that it will show our values, okay? So this is a 9-volt battery right here, okay? And so we're going to make a very simple circuit right now. And that is, we'll add a light bulb and we'll add a wire. So we'll connect that to one side and we'll connect the power to the other side and bam, our light turns on, okay? So this is probably the most simple circuit you can make with, a power source and a load. It's probably not a very safe circuit because we have no circuit protection involved and no way to turn that light on or off except for unhooking the light, which is kind of a problem. So going through this trainer, I want you guys to understand how everything works. So when we talked about show current here in the top right, and we said electrons and conventional, and I told you to select conventional, I want you to notice that right now current is flowing from positive to negative. If you guys remember back to our voltage video, we talked about electron theory and conventional theory. So electron theory says that current flows from negative to positive, and conventional theory says that it flows from positive to negative. So if we flip this and go to electron theory, we're going to notice that the only real difference is the electrons are moving backwards. So I'm going to tell you guys to keep it less confusing for you. We'll just keep it on conventional like that. Okay? So make sure you select that. You only have to do it once and then you don't have to mess with it again. You can turn the little arrows off if you would like by clicking that button. However, I think that makes it a little bit more confusing for you, so I would recommend you turn that back on. And the labels probably should stay on so you can see what you need to do. Okay, so there is a little bit more we can do with this. So it's not just inserting components and then watching them. So if you select an individual component, we can change the voltage of the battery. So we selected the battery, and we see that we can hit the trash can button, and we can delete it. Okay, we deleted it. Let's grab another battery and bring it back in. Oh, did not connect that. There we go. And we can also change the voltage. Okay, so we can flip the battery too if we want to. So let's change our voltage to the battery voltage of a vehicle, which should be 12 volts. Really, it should be about 12 and a half. We'll say 12 volts to keep everything simple right now, okay? All right, so we changed our voltage from 12 volts, and if we noticed, when we went from 9 to 12, look at our light. So you notice the rays of sun coming from our light got brighter, got bigger. So that means our light is actually going to be brighter with 12 volts. Okay, and coincidentally, we know as resistance increases, voltage or amperage is going to decrease. So we can change our resistance on our bulb And as we go up in resistance, we notice that our bulb is going to get dimmer, okay, which means less current is going to flow. And as we go down back to 10, our light is going to get brighter, okay? So this is really a very simple circuit that we can do. So there is a couple other things I want to show you guys. Here on the side, on the right side, you'll see a little symbol of a battery and then a schematic symbol for a power source or a battery. So I want you to click that power source symbol, and if we click that, we'll notice that it actually changes everything on the left side of the screen, and it changes all the symbols on the screen to the schematic symbols. If you would like to use one or the other, it really makes no difference. The only thing that I have noticed is that if you use the schematic symbols, it does not show the examples for the sunlight, okay? So if we go back to the source of the battery, bam, or the actual pictures, we'll see that, hey, we have the sunshine coming back. So this might be the best way for you to do it. I just wanted to give you a heads up. If it changes, that's what you got to click. So there is a couple other things that we can actually do. And the first thing we have is a voltmeter. So this is a way we can use to test our system, okay? So if we hook one side to the negative and one side to the positive, and we look at this, we see we have 12 volts, which is good because that equals the voltage of the battery, okay? So we can come here and we can test the line. So if we do a test and we go from the power source on the battery to the first side of the bulb, we'll notice that we actually have 0 volts. Okay, that is good. That actually means that because a voltmeter, just so we're on the same page, a voltmeter is measuring the difference in potential voltage at 2 points. Okay, that's all it's doing. It's not sending any voltage through the meter, it's just measuring the potential and difference in voltage. So we shouldn't have any difference in potential and voltage because this is just a wire. We don't want any resistance in the wire. All we're doing is connecting the battery to the bulb. Excuse me. Now, if we were to take the multimeter or the voltmeter and go to the other side of the bulb, now we notice we have a 12 volt difference because all of the voltage is getting used up in the load, and that's a characteristic of voltage. So all of the available voltage will be used in the load in the circuit, okay, wherever that load may be. So let's put our voltmeter out of the way. And then we can also use our other little tool, and that is an amp meter. So we can put the tool here, and we grab the little crosshair, and we bring it over here. And we see that this circuit draws 1.2 amps. So with a 12 volt battery and 10 ohms, we will see that the current is actually 1.2 amps, okay? So it's kind of neat to do those tests. Okay, so we have a couple other options here, such as a switch and resistors that we can use. Hey guys, I almost forgot that one thing I want to make sure you guys know is you can also add a fuse. I know I told you guys that, but there is a couple little special things about fuses. So if we click the wire next to the battery, we can click the snip button and snip that out. Move the battery out of the way. Let's move our wire over here, and we will connect our fuse to one side of the wire, and we can add another wire in. Okay, so now what we can actually do is if we click the fuse, we can drop the current on that, and eventually we're going to get below the current draw of the circuit, and our fuse is going to blow. So do you see that? We just saw a big bright flash of light, and our fuse blowed up. So in the left side of the screen down here at the bottom, if you click this little resistor symbol, that means we can replace it. But if you notice, every time I replace it, it blows again. You have to raise the amperage a little bit until we are able to replace that fuse and actually make it work. So when we're answering questions related to fuses, just make sure we understand that's what we have to do. Okay? Dogs. You guys can do whatever you want with that stuff and play around with it. Okay? There will be a couple questions you have to answer from using this today, and we'll probably use this tomorrow too. So I just want, I will put the link for you guys to access this on Microsoft Teams on your assignment for today. So you will watch this video and then you will go there and answer a couple questions using this trainer. Okay? All right, guys. Have a good day. We'll be out.